Hello, everyone. So grateful to be a part of this amazing conference and event at AFWERX. So appreciative and so thankful. I'd like us to start off with a very solemn moment of silence for all of those in the Air Force that we have lost to suicide and every veteran in general at large that we have lost to suicide. A very quick but important moment of silence. My name is Kevin Hines, and in the year 2000, while dealing with severe bipolar disorder, abandonment issues from infancy, and a detachment disorder, I attempted to take my life by way of jumping off the Golden Gate Bridge, a suicide attempt that is 99% fatal. Of the over 2,000 people that have attempted off the Golden Gate Bridge, 99% of them will never again get to tell their stories. 39 individuals were lucky enough to survive that fall, 1%. Of those 39 individuals, I would be number 26 of 39 to survive. Of those 39 individuals, I would be one of 5 to regain full physical mobility, to be able to walk, stand, and run. I'm so grateful to exist, to live, and to be here every waking moment of every day, but it wasn't always like that. In the year 1998 in May, I was diagnosed with bipolar disorder 2 years prior to my nearly fatal attempt. I was diagnosed with bipolar disorder type 1 with psychotic features, later diagnosed with bipolar disorder type 1 with schizoaffective disorder. I heard and saw things that didn't exist to anyone but me, auditory and visual hallucinations that would plague and terrify anyone, terrified me on a daily basis. I'll never forget the day I had my first complete mental breakdown. I was at Archbishop Reardon High School in San Francisco, California, and I was on a stage in a show, performing in a theater show called How to Succeed in Business Without Really Trying. I was playing a character they called Gatch. If you don't know the character, Gatch is a philandering businessman. He's got the wife at home, but he's messing around with all the secretaries at the office, that guy. And I'm playing that character, and I'm wearing one of my father's old suits and ties, which was no small feat. Pat Hines is 6'1", and I'm not. They hemmed the suit to sort of fit me. I'm on that stage out in front of a 1,200 person audience. Not one seat was open. And I begin to have an extreme paranoid delusion, the first for me of many. I begin to believe that all 1,200 people at any moment were going to rise, rush the stage, and end my life. This would be something I dealt with and deal with over the rest of my existence, living with bipolar disorder with psychotic features. I would have paranoid delusions on a regular basis that massive crowds were coming to hurt me and harm me. And I speak in front of crowds on a regular basis, so this would happen often. But this first time it occurred, it was devastating. I ran off stage. I ran to the lobby. I was met there by the director, who sent me home to my mom. Debbie came to pick me up, my mother, and I'll never forget the look in her eyes as she gazed into mine, because I could see within them, that she could see within mine the depths of insanity brewing behind them. Very soon thereafter, I would see my first psychiatrist, Dr. J. Kevin Rist. Dr. Rist was a kind man, and by all accounts, he was considered one of the best in his field. And I was lucky enough that my family could avail of his services. But Dr. Rist turned out to be on methamphetamines the entire time he treated me and his other patients. He was very ill and he needed help, and nobody knew. He would end up dying by his hands. So would my theater director, Mr. John Fennell. But sadly, those are 2 stories we don't have time for. I would be placed on medication, but I would not be following a treatment plan. I told everyone around me what they wanted to hear. I'm following the treatment plan. I'm taking the medication as prescribed. I'm working hard for my brain, mind, behavior, and mental health and well-being, none of which were true. I was pretending to do all of the above. I was taking my pills one day and not the next, 7 days and not for 7 days, or while binge drinking until blackout on the weekends while on psychotropic medications, which could have ended me. But I wasn't trying to to get high or feel a buzz. I was trying to stop the voices in my head. I was seeing things like death himself hover through my window, the Grim Reaper hovered through my window with his sickle and blade in his right bony arm. He reached out his other bony hand, turn it upside down, and his eyes would like to fire in his skull face, and he would say, "Come home with me." Monday through Monday. Do you think I told anybody? I did not. I kept it all inside. I buried it. I got really, really good at one thing that a lot of airmen are good at: silencing my pain. I would later learn, after my attempt, which I wish I learned earlier, that a pain shared is a pain halved, and that by sharing your pain with someone who empathizes, you can always survive said pain. But I didn't know that. On September 25th of the year 2000, I boarded a bus with my note in my bag. Mom, dad, brother, sister, best friend, girlfriend, I love you, but I can do this no longer. Please forgive me. I sat on that bus in the very back row in the middle seat, and I began to cry. Waterfalls flowing from my eyes, mucus dripping from my nose. I believed I was useless. I felt I had no value. I thought I was worthless. I was wrong. I had value. I had worth. I was a pertinent member of society and my family nonetheless. The bus arrives at the Golden Gate Bridge parking lot. At this point in time, I've already yelled aloud, "But I don't want to die. I'm a good person. Why do you hate me so much?" In a crowded bus filled with 100 people. And not one person turned to me and said, "Hey kid, are you okay? Brother, is something wrong? Or pal, can I help you?" Which is all I wanted. I wanted one person to see me, see my pain, and say something kind. Instead, the only person to react aloud to me was the fellow to my left, who said to the guy next to him while pointing at me with his thumb with a smile on his face, "What the hell's wrong with that kid?" And that's often what we find in American society. This innate ability to see somebody in the greatest lethal emotional pain they've ever experienced, but feel nothing for them but fear of them and apathy toward them. That's his or her problem, but it ain't mine. I got things to do, people to see, and places to go. I formidably disagree with that notion, just like I think every airman feels the same way I do. We are our brothers and sisters and individuals' keepers. We are here for one another. It is our sole purpose on this world. You all know this more than most, given the service industry you are in. You give back to your communities, your families, your country, and the globe every day, and for that we are grateful. We are only the land of the free because of the brave, because of all of you. But there I was, on the Golden Gate Bridge walkway, begging myself not to do it. And that's when a woman from my left approached me. She had blonde curly hair and giant sunglasses on that women wear that when you can't see their face. And she approached with a smile on her face. And I really believe this is it. This lady's going to help me. I don't have to die today. I don't have to do this. And then she pulled out a digital camera and said, "Will you take my picture?" And that was it for me. I said in my head, absolutely nobody cares. The furthest thing from the truth. Everybody cared. My father even tried to stop me that morning, but I didn't see it. Everybody cared. At that moment, the voices in my head beckoned at decimals I can't express to you without piercing eardrums. Jump now, and I did. I catapulted myself over the 4-foot rail. The millisecond my hands left that rail, it was instantaneous regret for my actions and a 100% recognition that I just made the greatest mistake of my life, and it was too late. I fell 220 feet, 25 stories at 75 miles an hour in 4 seconds. Praying the entire way down, "What have I just done? I don't want to die. God, please save me." In the water, as I was flailing to stay afloat after going 70 feet beneath the water surface and somehow making it to the surface with one breath of air without the use of my legs, I had shattered my T12, L1, L2 lower vertebrae and missed severing my spinal cord by 2 millimeters. Something came to my aid. A creature in the water began circling beneath me. I thought it was a shark. It turned out it was a sea lion, circling beneath me, bumping me up. No longer was I wading in the water. I'm lying atop it, being kept buoyant by this creature until the Coast Guard boat arrived behind me. The Coast Guard boat arrived. The officers fished me onto a flatboard. They put me in a back brace. They put me in a neck brace and strapped me in from head to toe and started asking questions. The first question, "Kid, do you know what you just did?" I said, "Yeah, I just jumped off the Golden Gate Bridge." They said, "Why?" I had no answer. I thought I had to die today. One guy leans in, he says, "Son, do you understand how many people we pull out of these waters that are already gone?" I said, "No, sir, I don't want to know." He said, "I'm going to tell you anyway." He said, "Young man, this unit alone has pulled out 57 dead bodies from these waters and one live one, you." And that gave me a massive amount of perspective. It would be a long and hard journey back to recovery. It would take 9 psych ward hospitalizations in the next 14 years, including my hospitalization last year, for suicidal ideation. Every day I fight to stay mentally well. I work tirelessly for my brain, mind, behavior, mental health, and well-being. I exercise, I eat healthily, I educate myself as to my diagnosis. I use coping strategies like music and art therapy to cope. I go to talk therapy on digital. I do everything I can for my brain and mental health and well-being. And every time there's a new treatment for bipolar disorder, I activate it into my plan. If you are an airman and you are struggling mentally, I beg of you, ask for help. You deserve it. You're worthy. You matter. You're important to me. You're important to the Air Force. You're valued. And if nobody else says it today, we love you and we want you to stay. So fight for your well-being. Be here tomorrow and every day after that, because you deserve to live out your life until its natural end. You're a gift to this world, and you're 1,000 times greater than the worst thing you've ever done. I survived my attempt, which was 99% fatal, to give you this message, to share with you that there is always light at the end of the tunnel, even if you don't see it there. Just keep moving forward. Eventually, you'll get there. Thank you very much for your time. I greatly appreciate it, and I wish you all wellness, the greatest wellness in the world.